Alright, this is page 122. This is the second video. This is the bottom of the page. We're going to start on number 9 here, and we're going to complete page 122 on this video. Number 9 reads, Chan He bought 3 4/10 pounds of coffee that cost $6.95 per pound. How much did he spend on coffee? So read carefully and make sure it's not an estimate problem. It is not. If it were, we would round, but it's not. We're going to actually solve. So I'm going to do 6 95/100. I like to put my longer number on top and my shorter number on bottom. And notice you don't have to line the decimals when you're multiplying, because we're simply going to pretend there are no decimals, and then we'll count our decimal at the end. 4 times 5 is 20. 4 times 9 is 36, plus 2 is 38. 4 times 6 is 24, plus 3 is 27. And x is 0 when I get ready to go in the tens place. 3 times 5 is 15. 3 times 9 is 27, plus 1 is 28. 3 times 6 is 18, plus 2 is 20. I get 0, 13, 15, 16, 3, and 2. And then I count over 1, 2, 3 spaces, 1, 2, 3 spaces. And this is a money problem. They already gave us the dollar sign, but I'm going to rewrite it. This is a money problem, so the answer will not be 23 630 thousandths, because when it comes to money, we only go out 2 digits after the decimal. The answer is $23.63. So if you leave that 0 on the end, it's kind of an invalid answer. All right, cool. Good job on number 9. Let's go check out number 10. Number 10 is another money problem. Adita earns $9.40 per hour working at an animal shelter. How much money will she earn for 18 5/10 hours of work? I want to show you a little trick. We've learned this before. What I'm going to do is put 18.5 on top. I'm going to put 940 on the bottom, but I'm going to write it as 9.4. That 0 right there will have no impact on our answer. I could shift all this 9.4, I could shift it over to the left and put a 0 there, but it won't change your answer at all. A 0 at the end of a decimal, you can just take off. So this is going to be a little quicker, possibly a little easier. 4 times 5 is 20. 4 times 2 is 4 times 8 is 32, plus 2 is 34. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 3 is 7, and x is 0. 9 times 5 is 45. 9 times 8 is 72, plus 4 is 76. 9 times 1 is 9, plus 6 is 16. I need to make my whiteboard longer. I add them all up, I get 0, 9, 13, 7, and 1. And then I count over 1, 2 places in my problem, 1, 2 places in my answer. I get, again, they put the dollar sign. You don't need that, but I like to add it. It's $173.90. Whenever you're working on these and you're just not sure, you could always use a calculator to check. Not to solve, just to check. All right, let's check out the next two. I think I'm going to erase everything here and put my whiteboard up here. It says Catherine tracked her gas purchases for 1 month. How much did Catherine spend on gas in week 2? So you simply go to week 2. And she spent $2.54 per gallon, and she bought 11.5 gallons. So that's going to be, and maybe I'll try to write small. Maybe I can write small. We'll see. I'm going to put 254 on top of 115 on the bottom. And you know by now that you can ignore the decimals. We'll put our decimals in and deal with it at the end. 5 times 4 is 20. 5 times 5 is 25, plus 2 is 27. 5 times 2 is 10, plus 2 is 12. And x 1, 0. 1 times 4 is 4. 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 2 is 2. This is really kind of a cool problem. And x 2 zeros. 1 times 4 is 4. 1 times 5 is 5. And 1 times 2 is 2. Gave us kind of some convenient numbers there to multiply by. I'm going to add these up, and I'm going to get 0 and 11. And this is going to be 4 plus 5 is 9, plus 1 is 10, plus 2 is 12. 5 plus 2 is 7, 8, 9, and 2. So I get 2, 9, 2, 1, 0. And then go count how many places. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. This is another money problem, so I can ignore that 0 and just drop it. My answer is $29.21. I'll model for you. If you're just not sure, you could simply go 11.5 gallons times $2.54, and I should get 29.21. I did. Very good. All right, question number 12. How much more did she spend in week 4 than in week 1? Well, in order to do that, we got to figure out week 4 and week 1 and then subtract. So we'll start with week 1. And I really don't even have space for that. I'm just going to do week 1 on the left and week 4 on the right. So I've got 265 is how much she spent. Let's go ahead and highlight what I'm doing here. I'm going to do week 1 and week 4. So in week 1, I'm going to do 265 on top and 10.4 on the bottom, and I'll do my decimals later. And this will be kind of easy. Check this out. 4 times 5 is 20. 4 times 6 is 24, plus 2 is 26. 4 times 2 is 8, plus 2 is 10. And this whole middle row, 0 times 5 is 0, 0 times 6 is 0, 0 times 2 is 0. My bottom row is going to be annexed 2 zeros because this is in the hundreds place, so my first answer has to go in the hundreds place. So I've got 1 times 5 is 5, 1 times 6 is 6, and 1 times 2 is 2. We've got 0, 6, 5, 7, 2. How much money is that? We're going to count over 1, 2, 3 decimal places. 1, 2, 3 decimal places. That is $27.56. And we're going to need that later when we do our subtraction, because it says how much more did she spend. That means find the difference. Go ahead and cross this off. This was from a previous problem, so we don't need that anymore. But I do need to go figure out the cost for week 4. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to end up dropping this 0 right here and make that only 2 digits. So I'm going to put this on top, 106 on top, and then 27 on bottom. And I'll deal with my decimals later. 7 times 6 is 42. 7 times 0 is 0, plus 4 is 4. And 7 times 1 is 7. I'm now in the tens place, so I put a 0 as a placeholder. 2 times 6 is 12. 2 times 0 is 0, plus 1 is 1, and 2 times 1 is 2. And I get 2, 6, 8, 2. And then you count 1, 2 places over, so it's $28.62. And how much more is that than $27.56? I have to go actually subtract and find out. $28.62 minus $27.56. I'm going to have to borrow here. And 12 minus 6 is 6. 5 minus 5 is 0. And 8 minus 7 is 1. It's $1.06. How much more? $1.06. All right, one more problem at the bottom, the essential check-in. How can you check the answer to a decimal multiplication problem? Well, there's several ways you could do. You could estimate and round and estimate. Or use a calculator. Both of those are suitable options. Round and estimate is really fast if you have good facts. Using a calculator is good if you have access to one. Okay, good job. You're done with page 122.